Good morning, I'm Frank Powers, and this is Lifestyle Tucson, the program where I speak to our neighbors, the people behind the scenes of our amazing organizations, small businesses, and nonprofits. Our friends are informing you how they serve our community, and they are here to give you updates on future projects. Let's make some new friends today. Luck is often defined as when preparation meets opportunity. Getting lucky is defined as, well, we all know what that means. But it could also mean an unplanned pregnancy or an STI. When a scary situation happens and panic sets in, we might get lost and not know where to turn or where to go. Don't worry if you aren't prepared for that, because you are in luck thanks to Hands of Hope. Hands of Hope Tucson has been the go-to resource for women and men facing unexpected pregnancies in Tucson since 1981. They offer free pregnancy tests, free ultrasounds, and limited STI testing with no judgment. Today, I'm fortunate enough to speak with Joanie Hammond, CEO of Hands of Hope Tucson. Joanie, welcome to Lifestyle Tucson.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm excited to talk to you because we were talking a little bit, getting to know each other off the air, and we're fast friends now. Look at this.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about Hands of Hope. Then we're going to talk about, you got a big fun event coming up for a Laugh for Life. We'll talk about that fun thing. Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. That's going to be a great fun event. We'll talk all about that. And then we might even talk about some controversial hot takes. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. But I think we're going to have a great conversation here on Lifestyle Tucson today. And I gave a little bit of a 101 on what Hands of Hope is all about. Why don't you tell us what Hands of Hope actually is?
Okay, like you said, we've been around since 1981. We were the fourth pregnancy center to start in the nation after Roe versus Wade started. So here we are 40-something years later, still in Tucson. We're located across from Tucson Medical Center in the Medical Plaza on Knight Drive. We're 200 steps from Planned Parenthood and 40 steps from Dr. Richardson, who is another abortionist in town. And what we do at Hands of Hope is we come alongside women and men who are facing an unexpected or unplanned pregnancy without any judgment. All of our services are free. We are 100% donor funded. We have absolutely no debt at Hands of Hope. Everything we pay cash for. And we have our location, and we also have a mobile medical unit that is out on the streets to meet people who maybe can't get to where we are, so we go to them.
Wow, that's really impressive. And that's some of what you were talking about before, where we were like, should we talk about this? Should we not? Should we this? And I'm like, absolutely, because I want you to absolutely feel free and have a voice here, because you are a person that gets to talk about, this controversial thing. Listen, life has controversy because some people believe one thing and others believe another. But that doesn't mean that we can't all have a great talk about everything and communicate. And you pointed out that you are 40 steps away from Planned Parenthood and even closer to another, and just as close to another doctor. And that's fascinating, because that's what we were just talking about off air, that it's not north versus south. This is not the lines are drawn, and those people over there are our enemies. You're working to help people. That's what you're here to do. You want to help people make the best choices, make the right decisions, and have all the information. And obviously some places, again, I hope this doesn't sound controversial, might have an agenda. And you're saying, like, yes, if they go to those places, they might not get all the information that you can also provide when it comes to making a big decision on if you're going to keep a pregnancy or not. And that's really, I think, a really good take on it, as we just spoke for a moment. And I'm like, no, we should just talk about this together. Yeah. So I really appreciate how kind you are in speaking about, again, such a hard topic, even saying, like, can we talk about this? But I feel like we should. And again, I'm not going to apologize. No apologies. Like, we're allowed to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. No one should even be this hesitant to have a conversation.
Agreed.
Right?
I agree. I wish there were more conversations. You know, we have this, like, there's a pro-life side and a pro-choice side. If I had my way, we would get rid of all those words.
Right. Fascinating.
We would get rid of all of them. I am pro-life, but I respect people who are pro-choice.
There you go.
And I think if we could just have more conversations, we probably aren't that far apart. Mm-hmm. And right now we have, an abortion ballot measure that's coming up to be on the ballot in 2024, and it is a ballot to make abortion legal up to birth. But right now, in Arizona, abortion is legal up to 15 weeks or longer if the mother's life is in danger. So we have a law in place that protects a lot. And we don't need this other law because it simply goes too far. When a woman is facing an unexpected pregnancy, they need to have a sonogram to know how far along they are. If this law passes, it will take out all the safety measures. Women do not know how far along they are. They might come in and tell us they're 10 weeks, and we can do a sonogram and they can be 20 weeks. And that if they were to take the abortion pill at that point, they would hemorrhage and die. So we need to have safety measures in place if women are going to have abortions. And right now in Arizona, they are in place up to 15 weeks. Anything after that goes too far. So I'm just asking people to go on the website, itgoestofar.com, read the ballot measure, and vote accordingly.
There you go. And she asked if she could say that here, and because again, this is a weird thing to talk about. And I said, absolutely, it's important to you. So go check that out. And we're not going to beat it over a ton. We're just going to mention it. And now it's up to you. Go check things out. Do some research. Go read. Go watch something about this and get more informed. Don't take my word for it or just my fine guest here, Joanie. Go do some of your own research. Go to some of these websites and really get informed, because that's the only way that we're all going to move together forward is intelligently, not by being misinformed.
Yes. Listening to each other and, just talking.
Yeah. And that's great. So I think, we're off to a great start right now, and I appreciate that call to action. But now let's talk about Hands of Hope and what you can actually do. So now let's just do that scenario, because maybe some people go through this because they don't think that they have a choice or an avenue to survive in this situation if they have a child. So I think that your organization is here to show them it's easier than you think. We're here. We have these programs. We're here for this support. We're here to connect you with this other organization that's going to support you afterwards. We're here to get you in line and get you signed up with probably all the information one needs when they become a parent, because now you got to do your taxes different even. So you've got all these programs in place to actually spell out what it is to become a parent and how you can help everybody just move forward and do things the right way, intelligently, with as much info as they can get. So let's just talk about Hands of Hope, top to bottom. Tell me all about your organization, what you're here to do, and how you can help everybody.
Okay. So when a woman finds out she has an unexpected pregnancy, she has the same right brain reaction as if she's been told she has a terminal illness.
Really?
So she's feeling pressed to make a decision fast. So we like them to come in and we go over everything. We do a pregnancy test free. We do an ultrasound. If they are at risk for an STI, we will do STI testing, because you don't want to go through a pregnancy or have an abortion if you have an STI. So we meet them where they're at. And then we take them in the room. If they are abortion-minded or undecided, we go through all the facts of this is what would happen if you had an abortion pill, or this is what would happen if you had a surgical abortion, what they might go through. We just give them all of those details. And then we also talk about what resources are available for them if they decide to keep the baby. So a lot of people don't know. Like, they don't know if you're a student at the U of A that you can get free childcare if you have a baby. People don't know that. So there's so many resources available for them, and we give them those resources.
That's incredible, because again, those resources are a big, big deal when moving forward. I even saw that you help out with diapers as well.
Oh, yes. We give away 7,000 diapers a month.
A month?
Yes.
Wow.
And we are so fortunate that the churches have stepped up and they do diaper drives for us. We have a great supply, but people are having a hard time right now, so they can't afford diapers. So they come in and we give them a stack of diapers every time they come in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've noticed some of the trends these days, but like a lot of things for some reason have like doubled in price over the past few years. A lot of my friends have become new parents in the past, chunk of time, and the diapers is the thing they bring up a lot. When you have a baby, you're told, I think you're going to use between 5,000 and 6,000 diapers. Yeah. Like that's how many diapers that baby's going to poop in. So good luck. Yeah. Right? You got to get some diapers to people that can't afford them.
Right.
What other programs do you have?
Well, we have what we call a deeper still retreat. So if someone has had an abortion experience and they're having trouble with that afterwards, we have a counselor on site that will do free counseling, a master's prepared counselor. And then we have these deeper still retreats, which they can go to. We do those once a quarter, and it's from a Thursday till a Sunday over in Hereford, Arizona. We have a retreat center we go to. And then we also do some Bible studies called Surrendering the Secret, which are Bible studies for women who've had an abortion experience. And so that's pretty much what we offer besides, that support through their whole pregnancy. And then when they deliver their baby, we give them a baby shower in a box right before they deliver. When we know that they're going to deliver in the next week, we have them come and pick up their baby shower in a box. And they always say, should I just take one item? We're like, no, the whole box is for you.
That is very nice. Again, you got to support some of these folks. And I dare near say some of these kids, because that's what happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
Some of these young pregnancies, kids that don't know where to go and kids don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They need the most help and the most support, a young mom.
Yes. Right now, the average age of the women we see is probably between 18 and 35.
Okay.
So and mostly 25 to 35, career women, women in school. That's mostly who are struggling with that decision.
Wow. Do you guys have like programs that teach about safe sex or anything like that? Like when it comes to sexual education, so that maybe you don't wind up in that situation?
Right. Well, what we do is when we have someone who comes in and if they have a negative test, we'll talk to them about what are you going to do now to keep this from happening again. So we have those conversations one-on-one with them.
Oh, okay.
And then we partner with Lisa Hansen from Power Over Predators to do our education. And she speaks about all of those things in the schools.
Oh, really? You were telling me about that organization just real quick, because you were saying I should have them on as a guest, and I would like to have them on as a guest.
Yes, she just goes into the schools and talks to the kids about, having power over predators and being safe. She talks to parents. She's trying to get 1 million moms to be moms against sexual exploitation. And she speaks all over the city. And she's had some experience in her past that has made her be the best at this.
Yeah, that's
So
a
we
lot.
just partner with her for the education piece.
That's a lot of how stuff like that happens. It's true.
And we also are just getting ready to start a men's group. So
Oh.
a lot of times in centers like this, the men are left out, the fathers are left out. So we are starting a fatherhood initiative. So when the woman comes in with her mate, he will also be checked in, and then he will meet with a male who's in charge of that program, and they'll talk to him about being a father, being a man, being responsible. And a lot of times they just no one's ever told them or come alongside them. So he will have a group of volunteers, and he will come alongside the men to teach them how to be good fathers and good husbands.
I think that's very important, and I think that's great to hear that, because even in your mission statement that I was reading earlier, when it says a go-to resource for women and men, I noticed it said "and men," and that's a thing that almost just gets forgotten about or left out sometimes a lot, as if there's not a guy in the picture that really might have an emotional stake in the fact that someone's pregnant. That's really a big deal.
Well, we've done a great job of emasculating men over the past 10 years. And so I don't feel like our experience is showing us men don't even feel like they have a right to talk, but they should have a right. This is just as much their issue as it is the women's issue, and they should have a say. And also to learn how to be supportive. A lot of men just don't know because no one ever taught them.
Yeah.
So we're hoping we're going to make a big difference in that.
I hope you do, because I think that might be the biggest difference one can make. Again, I have some friends that are dads and they don't know where their kid is, and it shocks me because all I want to do is be a dad. Mm-hmm. So to see someone that like got to that level of life or got that gift, and then they're just like, oh yeah, they live in a different state or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, have you seen? Nope. It's amazing how much they can almost get the past to be checked out.
Yes.
And it's odd. You don't see as many, moms abandoning their kid as you see dads abandoning their kid. Yeah. So I think the education is probably a big component of that, and really teaching these guys how to be good men,
right.
And a stand-up person, because that's a big responsibility is being a dad, right? That's the expression.
They just need some encouragement and someone to come alongside them.
Yeah. So that's great. Now, again, what a serious tone we've taken for quite some time here. I'll tell you what we need to do. Let's flip the script and talk about Laugh for Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're not here to just bring everybody down and get all divisive with the heaviest topic in the country, perhaps the world. No, we're not just going to do that. We got to lighten the mood. And luckily, we got a comedian coming to town named Jeff Allen, and he's going to be providing Hands of Hope Tucson with a great fun event at the Calvary Chapel at 8711 East Speedway Boulevard, when they have Laugh for Life on Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. Tell us about this fun event.
Oh my gosh, we are so excited. We were looking at comedians to bring in, and my friend Noreen said, we need to bring in Jeff Allen. And I thought, there's no way we could afford him. He's so great. He's state of the art. He's on Dry Bar. He's in Vegas. And but once we listened to him, we thought we have to. So we called him. He gave us a great nonprofit rate, and he has a compassion for what we do. He loves what we do. So we are so excited about him. He's so funny. Have you heard him before? He's
No.
great.
But I was gonna look into him. What's the dry bar comedy? Because he got a lot of acclaim for that, and I'm like, what's that?
It's a YouTube show of just
Yeah?
different comedians, but they're clean.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it takes a lot of talent to be funny and be clean.
It does, and everyone should realize. Remember, that's what Jerry Seinfeld did. That was his whole thing. Is he's a clean comedian. Like, if I ever rarely saw him like curse or even say like bastard on like an interview or something, I was always like, oh, because that's the point. And I think that's really the point of being very funny.
Yes.
Low-hanging fruit is a curse word. Like it is. You can easily curse or make a fart joke, and yeah, you're going to get the lowest hanging thing. Being able to be funny, be genuine, and it's family friendly, I assume.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. It's going to be a great night. And it's also, not only is he going to give us a good show, he has his own crisis pregnancy story he's going to share that night. And it's a fundraiser for Hands of Hope. I mean, like I said before, we're a 501c3. We are totally dependent on our donors. So on top of that, I'll be giving a little update besides the show and his testimony, and it's going to be a great night.
It sounds like it. I mean, I'm excited. I always love when a comedian can, like, I always love comedian stuff. I love local stuff. But this sounds like a fun themed event, and I just love when a clean show.
Yes.
I went family friendly years ago. We were talking about that before when we first met. And it is like, it's nice to have the biggest audience possible because that's what you want. You can try to be in your face, but that's going to get you a small section of the entire, population. Being family friendly, being clean, being fun is really, I think, the best way to success.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great night. He makes a lot of fun about marriage and about raising teenagers, and it's something we can all relate to.
Heck yeah. Well, let me ask you another thing about your organization. It's just tell me a good success story of Hands of Hope. Just something that that sticks out in your mind. Like, what's one of your favorite success stories or something that really means something to you never forget?
Well, that story would be my daughter.
Oh, okay.
So my daughter, about 8 years ago, came to me and told me she'd had an abortion.
Okay.
And she'd kept it a secret for, like 5 years. And she told me, and I assured her that day that her baby was in heaven and that God would forgive her. And I wrapped my arms around her as she wept through the night with just gut-wrenching weeping about what had happened. And so I said to her, you need to go to a deeper still retreat. So we have 3 or 4 of those a year. So every time we had one for the next 5 years, I would invite my daughter, and she would say she wasn't ready. And then in July, she came, and her life has changed dramatically. She's experienced that healing. She has no shame anymore. And she's actually speaking about the abortion pill and the dangers of it. And she spoke not too long ago with Tucker Carlson, and she's going to be on several podcasts. But that is probably one of our biggest concerns at Hands of Hope is the abortion pill and how people are taking that and not having all the information. So it was a tragedy for her, but it's turned into something good. And now she's speaking about it, and she just doesn't want another woman to go through that.
Well, that's important, and that's real. That's really incredible. That's a great success story. I will say maybe test her for an STI after hanging out with Tucker Carlson, but I'm just making jokes. Because we're talking about fun things here, okay? That's all we're doing. I gotta bring some people back, but that's what it is. No, and that's the point. We're all here on our journeys, doing what we're doing, and congrats to her because that's huge. Yeah. What she went through obviously was very traumatic, and to have a secret inside so long like that with that much regret, I'm so glad that she was able to get past it, get some of that help to get past it, and find a community so that she's not living a life of regret. And a life that is always going to say, what if? Because that's hard. Yeah. That's hard. So what she's doing now, that's pretty incredible. Yeah. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. So if you had one wish, this is kind of like my final question I always like to ask. If you had one wish for your organization, what is that wish?
I wish that more people knew about us.
There you go.
Because I always hear, if I only knew you existed, I wouldn't have made the decision I made. So my wish is that everyone in Tucson would know about us.
All right. Well, there you go. So spread the word. Get the word out there. Word of mouth is the best form of advertising, and talk all about Hands of Hope, because today we made friends with Joanie Hammond, CEO at Hands of Hope Tucson. Embrace, enlighten, and empower. Thank you for joining me today, Joanie.
Thank you.
See, this was Lifestyle Tucson. I think we had a great conversation.
Yeah.
Bing bong bing. Time for a recap. Wasn't that a nice conversation? An interesting conversation, I hope. Joanie came in very trepidatious about being able to talk about some of this stuff, especially that political thing that she was talking about early on, and I didn't want to beat that over and over because, I wanted to let her speak. But you got to understand, I don't know what that proposition is either. It's up to you to go look at it. I'm as guilty as a flyer on a bulletin board. I'm not telling you yes or no on anything. I'm just telling you that my guest wanted to talk about it. She did a little bit. Then we talked about that organization. Then we talked about how important it is to help people and the mental health of people in crisis. And that is anyone in that situation. And that's really what's important. I think it's a little lost over the big grand topics and the grand titles sometimes, is the individual. So that story about her own daughter's mental health is very interesting and fascinating. And I'm really glad that she shared that and that we all shared something together today. And I hope you enjoyed the fact that I made fun of Tucker Carlson for some of you, just to pull you all back into reality. Because we got to have some fun, lighten the mood, and talk about this stuff the best way that we can. And that's with a bit of a smile and a little bit of a laugh and get along. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? So make sure you don't miss them over at handsofhopetucson.com as well as at Hands of Hope Tucson on Instagram. That big event is going to happen, Laugh for Life, Friday, February 16th at 7 p.m. at the Calvary Chapel, 8711 East Speedway Boulevard. And it's going to be welcoming comedian Jeff Allen. Clean comedian, fun Christian comedian. Go enjoy a good time with the fam. And I would like to thank our new friends at Hands of Hope for joining me today. You've been listening to Lifestyle Tucson. If you're a nonprofit that would like to be on the show, email lifestyletucson@gmail.com. For more information about this program or to listen to something you may have missed, go to the Sunday Mornings page on klpx.com, kfma.com, mixfm.com, or espntucson.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Audible, or wherever fine podcasts are getting along while having an adult conversation. Follow on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Lifestyle Tucson because I'm your BFF, your best Frank forever, Frank Powers. And toot toot Tucson, I love you the most.